what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Teeks, or you can call me Takara. It is whichever one that you want to call me. It doesn't really matter. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys who have clicked on this video obviously you've tried to read a sewing pattern before and you just couldn't. It drove you crazy. It drove you insane, and you just didn't know how to do it, so you probably just threw it or tossed it to the side because it was just too technical and too difficult. I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to read a sewing pattern envelope without driving yourself insane, and basically we're just going to be learning together. I'm not an expert, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a professional, I'm not a guru when it comes to like all the technical things in sewing. I really just know the basics. So the pattern that we're going to be using today is this one that you guys seen in my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, then you should go check it out. Just a haul of me showing you guys the fabrics and patterns that I picked up. This is going to just be reading the pattern envelope, and then in the next video I'm going to be showing you guys what is actually inside of the envelope and getting more into details on how to like lay out your pattern, cut your pattern size, things of that sort. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited to learn how to read a commercial sewing pattern. My sewing space is back there, and we're just going to go ahead and head over to the sewing space so that we can get started and learn how to read this pattern. Let's go. Alright guys, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to read this commercial pattern that I got from Hobby Lobby. We're basically going to be kind of learning together. Like I said, I'm not an expert at sewing. I haven't done a pattern in like forever, and the last time I used a pattern I completely destroyed my project. So I am definitely experimenting with this. I want you guys to know that I am not some type of teacher or expert or professional. Kind of just showing you guys and learning as I go, and you guys can learn from my mistakes. I've been doing a lot of research on how to read patterns and how to use them and stuff like that, so I figured I would just go ahead and film it and you guys can like follow along with me. We can kind of figure it out together. I want this to be more of like an experimental type thing because again, I'm still learning and I don't want to get on here and be trying to teach you guys something and I'm completely teaching you guys something super wrong. I feel like we can kind of relate with each other and be able to discuss in the comments what we're doing wrong. So this is the pattern that I picked up. It is the Simplicity pattern 1062, and again I got it from Hobby Lobby, and it's just a basic jersey knit t-shirts, and it's a learn to sew pattern, so it's supposed to be super easy for beginners. We are going to see how easy it is. So this is what a commercial pattern envelope looks like. There's a whole bunch of variety of different types of designs on the pattern. They may show optional trims, lengths, fabric combinations, or design details to appeal to a beginner or a challenged and experienced sewer. So like on this one it says, like I said, learn to sew. Okay, so also on the pattern they are going to show you the pattern name and style number displayed on the pattern envelope. So this one that we have is from the company Simplicity, and there's a whole bunch of different brands that you can go with. You can go with Berta Style, Vogue has patterns, McCall patterns, but you know, Simplicity, I mean, I really feel like Simplicity kind of says it all, that it's best for beginners. And then they have the style numbers. So this is the number that you'll usually see when you are looking through a pattern catalog, and this will help you be able to search for the pattern in the drawer. So you'll just look through the pattern catalog, see what the style number is, and then you can go straight to the drawer and pick out the pattern based off the number that has been given to you that was on the catalog. Moving on, I zoomed up a little bit so you guys can see. You're gonna see some type of fashion photography or illustration on the front of the envelope. On the front of the envelope, It's going to show the main pattern design. Again, like I said, suggest suitable fabrics such as like wool or cotton, and fabric designs such as print or plaid. This one shows you that you can do stripes, you can do a solid color. If you're unsure of your fabric choice, use the pattern illustration as your guide, because it's basically the designer's interpretation of the fashion that they're giving you on the pattern. So you can kind of go off of, you know, what the idea that they had for the design. 3 choices that you can do for tops, and then it tells you what you'll learn on this pattern as well. You'll also find sizes. I got the extra small to the extra large. You'll need to measure yourself, and I have a video on how to take your body measurements. Measure yourself before you go and looking for patterns, because pattern sizes are going to be totally different from your regular clothing sizes that you get from like Forever 21 and stuff like that. So definitely make sure you find your measurements, so that way when you look on your patterns, you'll know which pattern, you know, size that you need to be getting. Okay, so moving on to the back of the pattern, you guys, I wanted to get as close as possible to the back of the pattern that I could, because I want you guys to be able to see it in full detail. If I'll try to put like an insert, maybe like a picture if this doesn't really show up like I need it to, but this is the back of the pattern envelope. And basically on the back of the pattern envelope, you are going to basically see body measurement, and you're basically going to see the body measurement and size chart. And then for multi-size patterns, you want to make sure that you compare your measurements with those in the chart to decide which cutting line that you're going to be using. So this is basically what you're going to be using over here. You can ignore this because this is in a different language unless you speak that language. This is the side that we're going to be focusing on. So it's going to have the garment description. It includes information on the style, the fit, and how the garment is constructed. So starting off with the style number, it is also repeated on the back of the envelope, so you will always be able to figure out what the style number is. Makes it really easy to be able to find the pattern, and that is just usually in the corner up here. So again, our style number is 1062. Okay, so then the yardage block is going to tell you how much fabric to buy for the size and garment view you have selected. Before I went to the store, I made sure that I figured out my measurements, and I ended up being a extra small for the pattern, because my bust is about a 30.5, and my back to neck waist length, my back neck to waist is like a 15.5. So I'm like right here. This is my measurements right here. I'm an extra small when you line it up. So I'm like in this second column. These are all of my sizes. When you figure out what size you are, this is going to tell you how much fabric to buy for the size and garment view you have selected. This over here is your garment view. So the garment view that I decided to select was A, which if you flip it back over to the front, this is A. It's just the solid top. I just want to do solid because I just bought an all gray fabric, so I'm just going to do A. Garment view, it also tells you how many pieces are, like basically how many pieces that you're going to have to cut when you cut out your pattern. So this is telling you how many pieces. It tells you all of that information up here. Alright, sorry to kind of like go everywhere, but that's what that is. I'm doing A top, so I need to make sure that I'm getting a fabric that has a width of 60 inches. And you can figure that out by when you go to the store and you're looking at the fabric. At the bottom of the box, it'll tell you how much, it'll tell you the width of the fabric on the box. Since I'm doing that and I'm an extra small, I'm just going to line that up, and right here it is telling me that I need 1 yard and 5/8 inches of fabric. Another thing is, some patterns are also going to list the extra yardage that you're going to need required for napped fabrics, or maybe even like uneven plaids. And that also tells you down here how to determine like the nap. It'll say without nap, with nap, with or without nap. And right here is telling me that my project is going to have nap, and I'm thinking that nap, I kind of got a little bit confused about this, that nap is basically telling you the ease that's going to be in the shirt. So that's why you'll need the extra fabric. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what it means, but I'm not really sure because, like I said, I'm still learning. So yeah, because up here in the fabrics it says extra fabric needed to match plaid stripes or one-way design fabric. So it'll usually tell you if you need the extra fabric, which I did not get extra fabric, and I don't believe that I'm gonna need it just because I'm using A. But it does say with nap, so I guess we will determine and see that once we once we do it. So we will figure this out together. Okay, so on the pattern you're also going to see sizes in European sizes. That use the metric equivalents of body measurements and yardage. They're included for other countries that use the metric system. Also give you like the special advice such as unsuitable for stripes or obvious diagonals, to alert you that certain fabrics are just like not good for the pattern. So this one, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this one actually says size for stretch knits only. So it's telling me to only use stretch knits, interlock, jersey, ITY knits, spandex blends, stretch velvet, and then you can see pick a knit rule. The pick a knit rule is basically up here. And when you're at the fabric store, you can basically put your fabric at the top of the pattern to see what type of stretch it has. You basically can just like use the top of this thing to determine the stretch of the fabric. So it basically is going to help you to, you know, make sure that the knit is stretchy enough for the pattern. So I want to talk about the finished garment measurements because I learned this the other day. I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. Basically it says the finished garment measurements. It basically indicates the length and the width, and this is giving me the bust as well. You may need to make length adjustments. So the width at lower edge is the measurement at the hemmed edge, indicating the fullness of the garment. Basically when you're cutting out your lines on your fabric, which we're going to talk about, I learned that you're going to be cutting out the measurements, the finished garment measurements. So when I cut, I'm going to be cutting like 42 and the length 26. That's where you're going to be cutting out when you cut out your pattern pieces. Go back up to the top. These are our notions. And notions are basically just like supplies, materials that you're going to be using, you're going to need for your project. I need things such as thread, which it tells me on here I'm going to need thread. Zippers, buttons, seam binding, which are required for garment construction. It's all going to be listed. Purchase all of that at the same time that you purchase your fabric, and to make sure that you're getting the right colors and stuff like that, to make sure it's matching the garment that you're going to be making, especially thread. You always want to make sure that you're matching up your thread with your fabric, or at least take supplies that you have at home to the fabric store when it is time to purchase your notions. This one also suggests me to look for simplicity trims. I didn't get any trims because I'm not adding any trims onto this shirt, but you can if you would like. I hope I am kind of explaining this right. I definitely don't want this to be like some type of like professional tutorial, because like I said, you guys are kind of like learning with me, so I'm gonna put all my mistakes out here. Like if I'm doing it wrong, you guys can correct me, and I really do not care about you guys correcting me, because I literally want us to learn together. So I'm explaining what I know, and anything that I'm saying wrong or anything that I don't know, we can correct each other. So I'm not really like a technical person. I don't like doing things technical. I hate math. I hate numbers. And that's why I've always had like sewing patterns, but I just read and do a lot of research. So any research and reading that I've done, I'm just gonna put it out here. So that is the back of our pattern. Ta-da! This is the back of our pattern. Cool, right? Gives you all the information where you can go simplicity, you know, all the social networks. Super cool. I'm excited to work on this pattern with you guys. So that was it for the video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you guys learned some things from me. If you guys have any questions or just any advice that you want to leave me, or any other type of sewing, specifically sewing videos that you would like to see be done on this channel, or sewing problems that you have, go ahead and leave all of that stuff in the comments below. Don't forget to go ahead and head over to my Facebook like page and give it a like, as well as follow me on my Pinterest. I like to pin on there, and we can sort of pin together as self-taught designers, pin different things to help us with our sewing. I also have a Snapchat, and I always do like little sneak peeks and behind the scenes of me editing or filming, so feel free to follow me and hit me up on there as well. Other than that, stay tuned for the next video where we actually see what's inside of this pattern. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.